What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and I am happy to bring you guys my updated Danger Orcust deck profile post-Dark Neostorm with this little guy right here, this incredible Xyz monster, Dingirstu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, as well as some other changes made to the main deck. I've actually made probably quite a few changes in the main deck, give and take one or two or three or four or five, maybe. The extra deck obviously had to change because our Summon Sorceress is gone. As you guys know, you saw a lot of my test end videos, combo videos. Summon Sorceress was pretty much a mainstay in a lot of those. But fear not, the deck actually plays, it's like a little bit more simple to play now, I guess, without Summon Sorceress. And now we're relying on more traps for negations, much less reliant on Bomber Dragon, which is incredible. It's almost nice to have Summon Sorceress gone because it sort of forces this deck to play in a different way than it was playing in the past. And there's tons of cool boards you can end on with, like Longirsu, Bardiche, Savage Dragon, Set Climax, and Double Fog Blade. So like that's like one of the best possible fields this deck can end on right now, at least with my current version. I have a highlight of it on stream, I think, as well. I think I should be posting it in the Discord in the stream highlights section as well, so if you're in the Discord, check that out at some point in the future. And if I can find the replay, I should be able to find it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the profile. First, guys, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist. I say it every video. Amazing playmats like this Thunderstorm Limited Run, tournament ready non-effect sleeves, effect sleeves, dice, all this great stuff. Check them out down in the description below and how you can get 10% off all future orders. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. And we're starting with the Orcust monsters, Double Harp Horror. I've seen some builds that play the Orcust engine, like it seems like every deck nowadays is throwing the Orcust engine in there, which pretty much makes sense because if you can make a Nightmare Phoenix, you can play the Orcust engine. It just really comes down to that. And I've seen some builds play the Triple Harp Horror, but I just really don't want to brick this card too much. I think 2 is fine. Same thing with Double Symbol Skeleton, Double Nightmare, although I was contemplating cutting this card down to 1 because I don't know how many times I've opened 2 of these and my Mermaid play is completely dead. I guess that's just bad luck on my part. Maybe I'll find some way to fix that, I guess. Double World Wand, card's an incredible extender, summons out from your banish zone, and 1 Brass Bombard. This guy I still think is important because if you open this and any other Orcust monster, you can like normal Bombard, link it away into a Linkaribo, and then banish your Symbol Skeleton, and go from there. Or banish your Bombard to summon out your Harp Horror and go into your Kallithea from there. So this card can actually save your hand sometimes. It's also important to play as our level 1 tuner because you can use this with Nightmare or Danger Dogman to be able to synchro into your Warlord Savage Dragon, which is a pretty key card in your extra deck. Now we'll go into the dangers, starting with Triple Jackalope. Now, my Danger engine is as budget as I could get it. When I picked up Jackalopes, these were 10 apiece, so they was a little cheaper than they are now. I'm not sure what its price is currently. I imagine it's probably a little bit more than $10 a piece, maybe around 20. You can probably play any Dangers in here you want. You could play Thunderbird, you could play Bigfoot, you could play Chupacabra, or whatever. It does not have to be the same Dangers that I'm playing. Jackalope's really not needed to 100%, although it definitely does help, I'm not going to lie. Triple Mothman. This one is probably the one that makes the most sense. I think when I started playing the deck, I was just running Triple Dogman, Triple Mothman as like a really budget lineup. But I'm starting to really like Mothman because, no matter what happens, you're going to be able to get a discard out of your hand. If it's an Orcust monster or a Phantom Knight monster or whatever, you're going to be able to get it out of your hand and draw a card because of it. So it does really help out a lot. Dogman I do really like because he is a level 7, which fits in very, very well with the deck because you have your level 1 tuner, and sometimes you can't use Nightmare you can't get your Nightmare back out with a World Wand or whatever because of whatever cards you might have. So Dogman comes in clutch sometimes if he gets summoned off of Jackalope or if he just gets summoned off of his own effect. He's a perfect level 7 to synchro with our level 1 tuner. If I had the other Dangers, I would play them. This is just the Danger run that I'm playing because they're the Dangers that I already have. They're probably some of the cheaper Dangers, give or take, Jackalope. If you have better Dangers, you could run them. If you have Tsuchinokos, if you have Nessies, that'll work perfectly fine. So feel free to do that. These are just the Dangers that I'm running. These could be like any 8 Dangers. You could also play more than 8, I guess. But I think 8 honestly has been working fine. I think more than that might be not the greatest, but again, they're danger monsters, so what drawbacks do they really have? And then here we have double scrap recycler. I'm still playing the double scrap recycler. It's still an incredible normal summon if your hands aren't that good. It's just a great card to see. Ibly, still playing 2 Ibly. This is a 1 card play starter, so why not play it? Giving it to your opponent can suck sometimes, yes, but a lot of times with this current build with Bardiche and stuff and making Dingirsu turn 1, you can just clear this card off their field. You're just giving it to them to chain link block for the most part, so and you can still remove it, like I said, with either a Bardiche or Dingirsu play. So you don't really have to worry too much about leaving this on your opponent's side of the field, since pretty much everyone and their mother has a Nightmare Mermaid and an Orcust package in their extra deck and main deck. So having the option to clear this card off your opponent's field is nice. So you're not completely locked into it. And then the last 2 normal summon or main normal summons are Greffer and Armageddon Knight. Because being able to follow up your first turn board with one of these guys is just like a super charge play. And these things, I just think these guys are too good to not play. And yeah, I cut the 4 Mud Skipper just because I wanted to cut down on the normal summons in general, and I got down to just playing 1, and I eventually just cut it because it just wasn't needing it anymore. So yeah, that's it for the normal monsters, or our normal summons, I guess. Then we play 1 Silent Boots and 1 Ancient Cloak. I think the 1-1 ratio works fine. Yeah, I think this works fine, just 1 and 1. I don't want to play gloves or anything just because I don't think it's needed. And that's it for the monsters. I believe that's 25 monsters. We'll go into the spells now. We have double Orchestrated Babble. I think playing double Field Spell is like the right call, because if this card gets destroyed, in any way, shape, or form, or you lose this card, whether it be to a Trisbania or to a Foxy or a Twin Twister or whatever, or a Roar, or a Sky Striker card, like, just being able to have the ability just to summon Kallithea next turn and search it again is really, really powerful, just because, like, I hate having to discard a card out of my hand to be able to get this card back, because I feel like it's just not worth it most of the time, and just be better just to search a new one. So I think 2 is fine. And also increase your odds of opening in turn 1, which allows you to search other things with your Kallithea, like your Counter Trap. So double Twin Twister, double Call by the Grave. I think Twin is a card I've been playing in and out of the deck, but I'm playing it again just because Mystic Mine is the thing, I guess. And Twin Twister can fit in here too, because discarding cards is cool. Then we have 1 Allure, 1 Orchestrated Return, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Reasoning. This card is super underrated in here. It like goes in your favor pretty much every time. And then 1 Reinforcement of the Army to search out either your Phantom Knight stuff, or your Greffer, or your Armageddon Knight. So there's quite a few targets for this card to search. Do you have to play Allure? No, you could play a second Return, but I wanted to play Allure just because you can use it with any of your monsters in your deck instead of your just Orcust or World Legacy monsters. So it kind of reduces the chance of you bricking with a Return. When you have a card you could basically use with Allure instead. Now we'll go into the traps. We have triple Fog Blade. Card's fantastic. And then last but not least, 1 copy of the Orcust Crescendo. This is the new counter trap out of Dark Neostorm. I was going to play 2, but I still might play 2, to be completely honest. I might cut Rhoda for a second one of these, or cut a Fog Blade for a second one of these. This card is just so good, but its setup requirement is what makes me only want to play 1, is because you must have an Orcust Link monster on your field to activate this effect. So it says when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated while you control an Orcust Link monster, negate the activation. If you do, banish that card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add to your hand one of your Dark Machine monsters that is banished or in your deck. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Dark Machine monsters. You can only use 1 Orcust Crescendo effect per turn, and only once per turn. So both effects are hard once per turns. So not only does this card negate something, but allows you to add a Dark Machine monster that is either banished or in your deck to your hand. You are locked down to summoning Dark Machine monsters once you do that, but in most cases it isn't going to make too big of a deal. So yeah, just being able to use this is just super clutch sometimes, just to get that extra search. Like, search your deck for any Dark Machine monster. It's really, really nice. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Should be 40 cards, 25 spells, 25 monsters, 11 spells, and 4 traps. Now we'll go into the extra deck, starting with Dingirsu, our Xyz monster, 1 and only Xyz monster. I know some builds are probably playing 2, although I just think playing 1 is completely fine. The extra deck in here is pretty tight in my opinion. And squeezing in one of these guys works just perfectly. It's 2 level 8 monsters, so it's a generic rank 8 that says you can only special summon Gears to the Orcust when you start once per turn. You can also Ixie summon this card by using an Orcust link monster you control as material. So if you have a Kallithea, you can just slap this card on top of it. It is that easy to get into. And it says if a card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1 material from this card instead. If this card is special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Either send 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard, or attach one of your banished machine monsters to this card as material. So this card does like so much. If your back row is gonna get twin twistered, you can just attach to protect your back row. If it's summoned, whether you set it up with a symbol skeleton during your opponent's turn and summon it to his own bard each points to, not only do you get to activate the effect to send a card they control to the graveyard, but since a dark Exceeds monster was summoned to his own bard each points to, you also get to pop an additional card. And one of the main setups you do with this is you summon him over a Kallithea. And then this would be turn 1, and then you attach your symbol skeleton to this, link this away, so then you put your symbol skeleton and your Dingirsu in your graveyard for next turn to set up with that double pop with your symbol skeleton. It's just an amazing card all around. Definitely have to play this in Orcust now. It's a must. There is no not playing this card. I mean, you could obviously play the deck without it, obviously, but like, highly recommend getting your hands on one of these. Pay the $35 or whatever. Get this card. You're not gonna regret it. 1 Borreload Savage Dragon. This card fits very well into the deck. I'm still playing it because I think it's still very, very good. Yeah, so definitely still playing the 21 Savage Dragon. Next we have Link Karibo and Double Nightmare Mermaid. I was playing a Wee Witch Apprentice, but decided to cut it for a second Mermaid just because there's been times where I'm like going into a play and I'm like, oh, I really just wish I had a second Mermaid. Because sometimes you'll start your play with an Ibly, go into Mermaid that way, get your whole play going, and then later on you'll be able to make a Link 2 like Phoenix, mid-game clear a problem back row or whatever, and then go right into Mermaid and ditch a card again and summon out another Nightmare. Like, you just keep popping off. So yeah, I just didn't want to miss out on having that effect of Mermaid be able to go through more than once a game because it's just too busted not to. And the way I look at it is, if Wee Witch is my saving grace for a turn, odds are I'm in a losing position anyways, and it's just better not to play it, I guess. Then we have Double Kallithea. Don't have the alties, unfortunately. I probably won't be getting them either, just because they're too expensive. So Double Kallithea, it just allows you to return to Banished Machine to set an Orcust spell or trap, so you can just set your climax and just be like, alright, free counter trap for me. Then 1 Phoenix, which is also another way to get into a Mermaid. Then 1 Longirsu, because this card is still very, very powerful. Orcust Link monster to be able to have in your arsenal and be able to return 2 to send a Link monster, or send a linked monster to the graveyard. Very, very good card. 1 Bard each. This is basically what I replaced Summon Sorceress with, because before, as you guys know, I wasn't playing the Phantom Knight engine, but now I'm playing it, so easy replacement for Summon Sorceress for me. 1 Trisbania, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, or 1 Orcustrion, not Nightmare Unicorn, my bad. 1 Orcustrion, because this card is very, very powerful in of its own right. Return 3, and then just basically skill drain every linked monster your opponent controls and drop its attack and defense to 0. Pretty solid card. Can steal games for sure. 1 Bomber Dragon, because this card is still very easy to make in this deck. And I didn't want to give up on the Topologics either, because you still have that interesting, unique interaction with this deck, which is to be able to summon cards during your opponent's turn with your field spell, which allows you to take full advantage of both of these cards, so I didn't want to give up that. 1 Borreload Dragon, and last but not least, 1 Borreload Sword Dragon. You don't have to play Sword. You can also play an Avermax, which I guess can kind of work in this deck pretty well, actually. So if you don't want to pay the money for a Sword, I recommend investing into an Avermax. It would work just fine to play this boy right here instead of a Sword. So just know that this is another option, more of a budget option if you want to play it. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck and the main deck and pretty much the whole profile. If you guys enjoyed this one, let me know what you think down in the comment sections below. The comment section, not sections. There's only one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Really excited to be getting all these updates out to you guys, post-art and Neostorm stuff. Very, very exciting. still can't believe all these cards are like TCG legal now, like Tengirsu, Cherubini, Lacia, Avermax, all these great cards at our disposal finally. And only going to get better, I guess, down the road. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Join Discord. Follow me on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. Check out Imperium Duelist down in the description below. Get 10% off on some amazing products. And we'll see you guys in the next one.